global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happiness Today. This is quite shocking because a lot of politicians believe that Peter Obi has no structure. They also believe that he's in a party where retired and never do well politicians are going to a party that is not known nationally, just a place where those who did not make it retire to. But alas, it looks like Obedience is gaining grounds, and the sitting governor is speaking out his fears over the fact that Nigerians seem to be enchanted over both the ruling party and the main opposition party. This is shocking, and this may be a plus for the obedient supporters of Peter Obi, both offline and online. Let's quickly hit the ground running to find out the fears of APC governors and PDP governors, politicians as a whole. Well, Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, has raised the alarm about the impact of obedient movement on the chances of the ruling All Progressive Congress and the People Democratic Party at the 2023 presidency elections. The obedient movement refers to the supporters of the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Peter Obi. In a video published, which has now gone viral, Obaseki noted that youth in Nigeria no longer want APC and PDP. The future of our politics is changing, he said. If you have been watching the level of disenchantment with the existing political parties, I am sure in all our homes we have people who call themselves obedient. Ask them which party you belong to. They say obedient. They don't want us. They're not talking about APC or PDP. They're looking for alternatives. Also, the former national chairman of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, Victor Obi, has stated that the mass movement trailing the presidential aspiration of the Labour Party candidate was giving APC and PDP sleepless nights and a serious scare. Speaking with journalists in Anambra, Ume said, and I quote, "The support of Nigerians for the former governor of Anambra State and the presidential candidate of Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, is giving sleepless nights and serious scare to members of the All Progressive Congress, the People's Democratic Party, that's APC and PDP respectively, and other parties ahead of 2023 elections. The APC, the PDP, and other political parties are afraid of Peter Obi because of his resolve to banish poverty and ability to manage resources." This has sparked up reactions. Honestly, I don't know, but at the beginning, like I cannot forget the words of Macaroni, one of our foremost comedians, online comedians, said something very unique. He said, "They say we do offline, they say we do online, but we do both online and offline." I'm just quoting him now. But the best way to know that you're offline is to get your PVC. And people have, quite a lot of people have, assumed that PVC is synonymous with voting for Peter Obi. That's not true. We saw what happened in Ekiti State. Nigerians are still very hungry. There's hunger in the land. Except that they will continue to be advocacy. There will continue to be people who would keep education resounding it, that you don't sell your vote for now. You don't sell your vote in future, because whatever you sell, you may not really recover when it comes to the issue of political vote buying. That quickly reminds me of one of our former comedians to Okon Lagos, when he said something about getting paid if they want his vote. He said it's very cheap. He doesn't charge too much. He understands that they need to borrow to pay and all that, and that this whole issue of election is more like investment. So, hey, you understand that he will not be. It's very cheap. And judging the fact that they also, these politicians who are interested in vote buying, they also need to buy other candidates other electorate vote. He now admonished that he will just charge, since it's going to be 4 years and they know there's a one-time payment, and he wouldn't want to disturb them, that even after they finish paying him the money, they should not do any. In fact, they should not come to his street. They should leave everything that you understand that after that time they will never visit him again. So he will just charge $1,000 a day. He will times it by 365 days, which is in a year, since it's going to be 4 years. So it's going to times $1,000 times 365 days times 4 years, which it is. That's, you do the math. Hey, when I finished calculating it, the thing was running into some good millions. He said about half a billion. I'm not so sure the exact amount he mentioned, because he had to do a lot of permutations, reactions, and the amount of dollar to naira as at the rates as at that time. After calculating, he said after they finish paying him about that half a billion or so, that they should bother not they shouldn't bother to come to the streets. He will be the one to fix his road himself. He'll be the one to pay for security and all that, being that he has collected his agreement or his own money ahead of time. That reminds me of former governor of Gombe too. He said something similar. I said if they can afford to give the likes of delegates in a shady manner in dollars, why should it be collected? Don't be cheap. Your vote counts. Your vote should not be cheap. He even said they should start it up with the $50,000, if you want to buy. But we saw some people in Ekiti selling it for 5,000. So pathetic. So you can see the level of hunger and poverty in the land. So you can imagine, if you tell Nigerians now that don't vote by and all that, some persons will still have to do. They will still have to. Some of them by default will still say their vote with the right amount, or the right amount they feel is right or okay for them, regardless of what their tomorrow will bring. Now the likes of Obaseki is seeing some things we are not seeing, or some things. Initially they say just to show me that. I noticed that the level of people keep talking about Peter. See, the funny part about this issue of Peter Obi is the fact that the more you keep either antagonizing him, trying to berate him, trying to abuse him, or you worsen you promote him much more. One of the people who understand the dynamics of media power and being always in the media presence is someone like Governor Yeson Wike. Creates a lot of drama that bring attention to him, and that's why he's one of the most popular governors in the southern part of Nigeria. There are a lot of governors that some persons don't even know they exist, that they are there quietly, so but Wike makes a lot of noise. Now with this noise making, I wonder, is this not the same Peter Obi that just left PDP, and he didn't even leave PDP on the platform of presidency. He left on the platform of it may likely be the running mate of Atiku Abubakar, and now he's now a sensation. Everybody now is obedient. Well, let's meet in our conversation. I don't know what this means, but this clearly shows that it's not just a social media thing. They're beginning to see the youth rise. They're beginning to see the narrative change, and they're saying that they need to key into it now, or else their APC PDP may be actually be fading into oblivion.